gatekeeper, somebody who controls access to something, usually a vital piece of something. It can be information, but not limited to that. A gatekeeper is a person who has been put in a position to control access to something. Whether I'm in the financial aid department, admissions, or whether I'm your professor who says that I know you need this grade to get into law school or whatever, I control access to that. You are gatekeepers. The definition is consistent so far. A gatekeeper, though, can either allow access or deny access. In the past, when people were shut out, access was denied. The gatekeeper said, we have it, it's wonderful, we're not going to share it with you. There are some teachers who still do the same thing unknowingly. Another thing that I did in my lifetime was I served in the United States military. I was a Marine. A couple of Marines in the room. You know, a few good men and all of that. I was one of them. Went to boot camp in San Diego, an amazing thing happened. Now, why would I go into the military? Yes, I am patriotic. Yes, I understand the importance of that, but I'm not a soldier. I'm not. I went in because our house was shrinking. We were growing and the house was shrinking. And there literally was nowhere for me to go after high school. I was unfocused. I hadn't put everything together yet. I wanted to go somewhere, didn't know how to get there. So I went into the military. It was the best thing that could happen to me. In boot camp, the United States military, by the way, has the toughest boot camp out of all the services. If you don't know that, know it. It is a boot camp that weeds everybody out. If you can't make it, they know day one. It's 80 days of hell. That's what they call it. Exactly 80 days. On the 5th day, I'm there on guard duty. While everybody is sleeping, every 4 hours we change guards. From 2 to 6 in the morning, that was my guard duty. The one thing you can never do is sleep on guard duty. I slept. The drill instructor, whose room is right there because he sleeps there too, opens his door quietly, and I hear the creak. And I look up, and he's standing over me, and I was asleep. You can get a dishonorable discharge for that. So I jumped up real quick and didn't try to pretend that I was awake. He said, as you were, private, as you were. They call us private. You lose your name. He said, as you were. He says, what are you doing here? I said, sir, we have to refer to ourselves as private. Sir, the private was not sleeping. The private was reading a book. He says, as you were. Listen to the question, private. What are you doing here, Private Young? And I did that like animals do when they're a little confused. He says, I've been here for 17 years, never quite seen one like you. What are you doing here? That was a long time ago, and I'm sharing it with you today because it is probably the most important question to ask your students who are in front of you. What are you doing here? It doesn't suggest that you don't need to be here, but what it does cause them to do is to think not only about where they are, but where they are going. Community colleges are just a stop along a long journey to get to somewhere else. For many of them, if no one poses the question, they don't think about it.